Welcome to the Last Beer Show, episode 32. In this one, we say congrats to Texas. We cover the numbers around our stagnant craft beer industry, and we also get into online sales and delivery services. I'm glad you're here. Let's get into it. You ready?
I'm ready.
What's up, Jason?
Hey, Wayne. How the heck are you?
I'm all right.
Hey, happy Tuesday.
Is that what it is?
It is Tuesday. It's Tuesday. I'm in love.
Feels like a long week.
Yeah, it does already. And the thing is, like, it's just started.
So what's up?
Nothing much. I am getting ready for a little sharage tomorrow night. I know that's a shock. You can't believe it. You're
share at the house.
You are flabbergasted, but unfortunately, it's truth. We're gonna.
Unfortunately, it's the truth.
It's the truth. We are going to get into some stuff that I picked up in my recent travels, and I'm excited about it. We're going to open up some really fun stuff, and I'm looking forward to sharing it. So I'm getting ready for that tomorrow night, and just
cool.
Been had a good amount of traveling lately, so I visited a bunch of new breweries and some old favorites, and that was fun.
That's cool.
So,
yeah, I want to get into those.
Yeah,
I want to get into those a little bit.
Yeah, what are we drinking?
Well, we started out pre-gaming here. Before we record, we do a little, what the hell are we going to talk about? Yeah. Sand City Brewing Company in Northport, New York. New York. It is Infiniti +2.
Infiniti +2 double IPA.
Double IPA, and it's really, really good. Even this one's a little long in the tooth, a couple months old, but it still tastes delicious.
Sweet and rich.
It's a little sweet.
It's good.
Where are you going next?
We're gonna open up this super fresh Treehouse. This is Bright with Galaxy.
Ooh, Bright with Galaxy.
And,
good.
Who doesn't love a little Bright with Galaxy?
So, as you open that, I wanted to let's toast. Let's make this one a toast.
Yeah.
To all our friends and listeners, and all of those who live in Texas. Congratulations on joining the rest of the civilized world.
Yeah.
In allowing direct to customer
Direct to sales. Cheers.
Brewery sales. Pretty
Cheers
incredible.
We raise a glass to you, Tejas.
They're able to make a product and sell the product to customers.
Congrats. What a time to be alive.
What a concept.
Wow.
Congrats, Texas.
We toast this Treehouse Bright with Galaxy to you.
Love y'all.
Yeah. Congrats. We in Georgia know the pain.
We know the pain. We've only had it for almost 2 years.
Yeah, we've not had it for that long. It feels like
just over a year and a half. But man, it changes the game locally.
We do not take it for granted, do we?
No, actually, I must think about it monthly. Something drops from a local brewery that is some short run, small batch, something or other that makes me think, wow.
Yeah.
Just 2 years ago, we didn't sniff this kind of beer.
Yeah.
Like all we got was flagship beers because you had to go through distro, which meant you had to hit a certain level of volume.
Yep.
So what it changed is pretty substantial in the community as far as like the flavors and the products that are available to us.
Yeah.
The creativity is shot through the roof.
And then you think of new breweries opening up like Lost
breweries,
Druid and Halfway
breweries have
Crooks.
exploded. Like we went from like 50 breweries to almost 100 breweries.
I heard about 2 new breweries opening in Atlanta this week. Firewater and
your boy up at Schoolhouse.
And my friend Thomas Monty opened up Schoolhouse Brewing in Marietta. He opened a bottle shop about 4 or 5 years ago and ran a successful bottle shop, but he was also teaching brewing beer at a local college, and has always sort of taken a teacher role with beer, and just opened up his dream brewery this weekend. So congratulations and a toast to you, Thomas.
So toast to him as well. Yeah, I'm excited to see what comes out of Texas. Having just been there and seen some of the really great work that's going on at a few of the breweries I visited. I am really excited to see what happens. I think that's awesome. Good for you guys.
Good for you guys. It only makes your craft beer world there better.
Taste all the things.
Yep, all the things.
So I think Texas is in line for some growth in the craft beer space, craft beer industry in their state. But on the whole, Jason, why don't you give us a quick craft beer business update?
So I don't know if you folks saw this new data from the Brewers Association, which is that more than half of the top 50 Brewers Association defined craft brewing companies did not grow in 2018, which actually follows a trend of 3 years of non-growth in that craft beer sector. Craft beer being defined by size. So beer
under 6 million barrels.
Under 6 million, and then beer volume at the 3 of the top 5 craft breweries, Yuengling and Sun, Boston Beer, and then New Belgium declined. Boston Beer, obviously, now
they
merging
merged with Sim Adams.
Dogfish Head.
Sim Adams. Dogfish
Head.
Dope.
Yep, and then, but interesting, Sierra Nevada actually bucked the trend after consecutive years of 7% declines. Sierra Nevada actually increased production 2% in 2018.
Yeah, so, local heroes too.
Yeah, good for those guys. And then there were some other winners and losers in 2018. Firestone Walker had a 12% uptick.
That's huge.
Which is a huge number. And then Boulevard down 10%, and Brewery Omegang out of New York down 8%. Some beloved brands. Bell's Brewery was up 3% in 2018. Stone Brewing up 3%. Sweetwater Brewing, Atlanta's original darling craft brewery, was up 2% in 2018. And then Wisconsin favorite, New Glarus.
Oh, geez.
They're up 2%. Would you know? Well, how about that?
We should have an accent off.
I know. I don't have a Wisconsin accent.
I want to prep.
But I want some serendipity in my belly. So
New Glarus is awesome.
Kudos to you, New Glarus. It's good for you. But on the whole, another year of declines and no growth for craft brewers. Which
a lot of those are bigger breweries that have experienced growth in different periods or in different years, necessarily at different rates, right? So they may have shot out, got an investment, shot out again, and then kind of plateaued, and then did something creatively that worked really well, or got hit some sort of distribution milestone, like with local grocery, that usually helps.
Yeah.
And then maybe merged like with another one, or got bought. Like Brewery Omegang's done some purchases. Firestone Walker's been part of it, right? It's like, and Boulevard's been part of it. It's like they're going to spike and then kind of level off and plateau, and market's going to catch up with them. And then they'll probably be fine. Like some of them make really great fundamental beers. Some of them, maybe not so much. It's arguable. Okay.
Yep.
But it'll be interesting to see how this tracks over time. Like the idea that growth has plateaued. We've heard it thrown around the last couple of years, yet we continue to see new breweries open and do well. And I don't know that is necessarily a reflection of category growth or category shrinkage, but it seems to me that some of the breweries that have shown a downturn in that are either trying to follow trends too closely and struggle from a flavor standpoint. Don't necessarily, like, that kind of creativity is not in their wheelhouse.
Yep, not normally.
Right, not normally, right? Mm-hmm. Or they lack focus, and now they've grown and they feel like they've got to make all of the styles, right? A little bit of something for everyone, and that's really hard to do. Like, that has to be tremendously difficult to produce against, right?
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, which breweries have maintained the integrity of who they are, their purpose in the world, and what really they got into the game for, and others maybe haven't or have not in a different way. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's there's a couple of interesting numbers on this list too, because we're sitting here drinking this ridiculously delicious Treehouse.
Ridiculously
Bright.
delicious.
I mean, it's like, honestly, I hadn't had Bright in a long time. It's not historically one of my favorites from them, but God, is it good right now? It's just a straight juice
good.
bomb.
Yeah,
and this Galaxy is like, it's on fire.
Haze haters would be absolutely appalled.
Yeah, but in
At how good this is.
Treehouse Brewing actually increased their volume 130% in 2018. 130%. You know who else had a huge increase?
They added another facility.
They did, but they still had to sell what they made, right?
It helps.
And so one of the other ones that I noticed on this list that kind of stood out to me that just had some ridiculous growth, and I was sitting there trying to think of why. And I don't know that I can put a finger on it, other than maybe they've increased their distribution footprint. But Three Floyds out of Muncie,
You love those
Indiana, they increased 25% in 2018.
25%. They must have added another facility.
It's a lot of growth.
It's a lot.
I mean, they haven't actually. Again, they must have increased.
How big are their tanks? They didn't have big tanks.
They've got a pretty. I've been to their brewery. It's a pretty large facility.
All right. Well,
but
I know you're a big
25% is a
fan.
lot of growth. So good for them and good for Treehouse. Also on here, Modern Times, one of my favorites. Modern Times out of California was up 41%. Local boys,
Didn't
Creature
Modern
Comforts.
Times do with one of those employee share
They did.
programs where they sold the bulk of the company or
They
gave the
did,
shares
but
away
they
to their
also
employees?
opened a new location in Oregon, Portland.
That helps.
So that helped out a lot. And then Creature Comforts, Athens boys, up 46%. So there you go.
How about Wachusett Brewing?
I don't see that.
Come on, are
the
they
list.
on there?
No, I don't see
Because they're
this.
number 17 in the country in size.
Yeah, I don't see it on here.
Damn it.
I don't see it on here.
I'm always rooting for those guys.
Yeah.
I made their first website like 25 years ago.
Yeah?
And also, congratulations to our listeners. New rule on the show, no burping into the microphone.
No, perfect.
Dude,
did
you
you
were
burp?
on fire there, man.
Did you burp?
You burped like 5 times.
I did?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice
I'll play it back for you when we're
Well,
done.
if you
I'll
play it
timestamp
backwards, you'll hear me say, beer is
You know what?
good.
I'll figure
Beer
out
is
how
good."
to timestamp and because you can do chapters.
Yeah.
And most players will support it now.
Okay.
So what I'll do is I'll create like a burp chapter,
Ah.
and then we could just go back and listen to that on loop.
Well, there you go. I didn't even realize I had done it.
Busting
But
your
this
chops.
beer is pretty dadgum delicious.
So all these breweries are all over the country, and it's a really great story that a variety. I know it's not a great story if you're a member or a brewer for a brewery that had maybe a less than ideal year from a revenue or growth standpoint.
yeah, like the Constellation Brands.
But that doesn't mean
portfolio.
profitability. Like, don't mistake all the numbers are not always trending the same way in reporting against the business. So they may have not experienced growth that they were targeting, but that doesn't mean that profitability wasn't close to where it needed to be, or the EBITDA wasn't close to where it needed to be.
I will agree with that.
So imagine a world where you could get all of these beers or beers from all these breweries, regardless of where you lived.
Yes.
Like if you could mail order.
Yeah, I can pretty much do most of that now.
Well, they don't have all of the beers, these mail order
Not all of the
shops,
beers.
right?
No.
So what are some of the mail order shops that I want to talk about mail order for a minute? What are some of the ones you've ordered from, Jason?
So a couple that I've ordered from, and this is not these folks have not sponsored us.
Yeah,
in any
not
way.
sponsors.
Not sponsored us.
But if they want to.
if they wanted to, we
might-
would not be opposed to
I'll
that.
answer the phone.
Yeah, for sure. Put our email address at the end of it. But
Sip@lastbeershow.com.
Yep, that's right.
You're welcome.
Yep, and these are just a couple that I've used here in Georgia. Keep in mind that each of these has their own footprint for who they can ship to based on your state. So go to their website and go to their shipping information to see specifics about your state.
It is shockingly complex.
Yeah, it's incredibly complex.
And some of the legalese we're going to get to.
We're going to get into it.
I don't.
We tried to make sense of it earlier, and honestly, my head blew up. But two of the ones that I use and get emails from on a regular basis are craftshack.com. Craft Shack is, I get emails from them pretty much every day, and they do a lot of stuff. They sell a lot of really cool stuff from California that I can't get, like Bottle Logic, and they'll have some other really cool California beers that I can't get access to. And then Best Damn Beer Shop, which is, those guys are... they're a really great bottle shop out here in California, but then they also have a great shipping program too. And Wayne and I went on there a little bit ago, and man, one of the first new beers on their site is a freaking banger off the guff. It's Rare Barrel's Pop Tart, which is blueberries, boysenberries, and tart cherries, and that's really freaking cool because
it's great beer.
Rare Barrel, has a really small. I've never even seen their beers at any locations outside of the brewery itself, and the fact that I could order Rare Barrels and have them shipped to Georgia is blows my mind.
And it's not secondary market prices.
No, they're $29.99 a bottle, which is about what they are in the brewery.
Yeah.
So it's just phenomenal.
It's
and
great.
then they also carry a lot of Modern Times and a lot of Bottle Logic, which I like, and so.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of the bigger West Coast breweries in there as well. And that's good. I think there's opportunity there. I don't know, someone can create the Uber of beer delivery, but it's I know Amazon's getting into this game, and I think I have a lot of, say what you will about Amazon, not everybody is in love with them. The scale they operate at is pretty amazing. But what they have at their disposal are resources that other retailers do not have. They're so much bigger than any other retailer in the country that if they're putting a lot of weight around lobbying for the not just the packaging and shipping from interstates, but also the legalese around, because some of it is you can't ship out, some states you can't ship in, and then some of it UPS, FedEx, DHL, USPS don't allow you to ship beer. Some of them will allow you to ship wine, and there's a lot of nuance to all sort of three of those issues.
Yep, and
that makes this really complex.
It's predominantly related to taxes, and that's where I believe Amazon has got. I believe that they are in a better position.
They have the infrastructure to go at this uniquely.
Right.
Now, what they're trying to do is go around distribution. They're trying to create a system where brewers and breweries can go direct to them and sell direct to customers. And therein lies the biggest challenge, because that's all kinds of illegal right now in most states.
Right, due to the 3-tier system that most states have.
So what they're trying to do is go around or plow through the 3-tier system and allow you to do direct sales to customers the way you would in your home state.
Yep.
And that's where their efforts lie. It's not necessarily in just getting around shipping. I think they figured they could probably solve some of the shipping and legalese around that.
Yep.
They're trying to get rid of the middleman to cut costs.
Yeah. And that's, like you said, that's their strength is in their ability to lobby because of their size. I think that I've been thinking a lot about Amazon recently anyway. I think that as they run the risk of causing more damage for themselves in the long run as it relates to taxes, because Amazon doesn't pay any taxes. And when you start talking about taking taxes away from individual states, because the issue with shipping beer from across state lines is only related to taxes. It's not related to safety. It's not related to any other issue other than the fact that individual taxes want to tax any alcohol and liquor that crosses state lines. They want to be able to tax that for their state. And so,
but their alcohol taxes are also different in every tax.
They are.
In every state, because some states put what would be considered a sin tax. So that not only is there whatever sales tax that applies to your municipality, there's also the additional tax tied to it actually being alcohol.
right. So,
And then there's dry counties.
yeah, so my thought is,
And there are dozens of them.
man, they run the risk of really causing more trouble, more problems for themselves in the long run if they really start playing this sort of, hey, we're going to skirt paying taxes on these items by allowing this shipping, because they're already skirting these governments by not having to pay taxes.
Well, they already sell beer. You can go in on there right now and get a case of Firestone Walker, Ballast Point. They've got Mike's Hard Lemonade. They've got Corona.
But I can't get it shipped to me. Can I? I couldn't get a case of Firestone Walker shipped to me in Georgia.
Let's see.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, you can. Ships in 1 to 3 weeks. It's slow. It's not prime. If it ain't prime, I ain't clicking on it.
Yeah, for real. I want 2 days.
Yeah, you can get it. You can get a 12-pack Firestone Walker's variety pack with IPA, the DBA, the Pale, and the 805 delivered to your door from Amazon. Right now, it is $16.44, which is not a bad price, actually.
Yeah,
they also have some Jester King, Wonderkind. 1 bottle.
Yeah.
$6, not too bad.
Really
actually, that's a really good price. So they're going to break down some of these barriers, and I'm excited to see what kind of chaos it creates, because at their scale, they have the ability to push back on states. Right, because really, a lot of the states that probably the toughest nuts to crack would be the ones with dry counties that alcohol sales are illegal.
Yep.
Now they're going to be able to go online and buy, and that is definitely a bit of a challenge. Not that doesn't already exist, but right now it exists in a small way. It's difficult to notice because the scale at which the specific sites are working at is nowhere near what Amazon would be working at.
Yeah, I mean, it will be very interesting, as they start to kind of figure out what it's like to work with some of these small, nano breweries and smaller breweries.
But I love the idea of beer mail, local sales and delivery.
Yep.
It needs to happen locally. Like, I'm not crazy about the idea of a 12-pack of bottles being shipped across the country.
Yeah.
Not individually wrapped.
No.
That's not going to go well.
In the back of a
There's
UPS
no
truck.
way that goes well,
Yeah,
right? They're getting thrown around.
I don't want it.
Unless you put a little sign on it, like right on it, like tell the special directions in Amazon's
That'll never
checkout
happen.
and say, tell the driver to grab 2 for herself. Like, maybe then it gets delivered safely. But it's problematic. I'm holding out hope that delivery happens locally at scale in a way that is convenient and cost effective. Like Uber and Lyft could open this up for drivers over 21 and absolutely own it.
Yeah, in local markets.
Own
yeah,
it.
absolutely. For sure. And
Just like the food delivery ones, right?
I know
Just
for
like,
a fact that they're actually working towards that lobbying, because
their problem is dry counties and dealing with some of the areas where it's illegal to sell it secondhand.
Yep.
That's another complexity. So, man, I still think it happens
I do
locally.
know
But
that,
I like the idea.
I remember when the last time I was in San Francisco, I could get beer and liquor delivered through, I think it was Postmates, and it was not a big deal at all.
Some of them do it, but they only do it in very regionalized urban areas, like specific urban areas.
Yep.
They're not going to publicize nationally, like, hey, rent one of our scooters and get a free beer.
Yeah,
It's not going to go down like that.
definitely not.
So
until then, we have things like craftshack.com and bestdamnbeershop.com.
and good luck to them.
Yeah, there's another app that's
Own
out
it.
there that is Taver, Tavoir.
I thought you said they shut down.
No, they just stopped shipping to certain areas. Tavour, Tavour. They're an app, and you kind of create. I think they call them. Crates. You create crates, and you can create wish lists and things. And they were trying to do that. They run into some issues with their shipping source, but they're still in operations. I still see their social media on a regular basis. So
are they the ones with the legalese that we were trying to decipher?
No, that was Best Damn Beer Shop. And,
so it was like by accepting.
Yeah, Best Damn Beer Shop just basically
purchase.
says, by placing your order, you have represented to Best Damn Beer Shop that you are at least 21 years old. All product delivered must be signed for an adult. But the really interesting legalese here, which I had never noticed before, and I certainly didn't realize it put me in some sort of jeopardy, is laws concerning the sale and shipping of alcoholic beverages are complex and frequently changing due to differences in politics. And it says on here that by arranging for transportation of the alcoholic beverages, BDBS is providing a service to and acting on behalf of you. By making use of this service from Best Damn Beer Shop, you are representing that you are acting in agreement with your local and state laws regarding the purchase, transportation, and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
That's awesome. We accept no responsibility for
and it says you agree to indemnify and hold harmless Best Damn Beer Shop, its agents, officers, directors, shareholders, and employees from any liability whatsoever. You are doing this on your own accord, you drunk.
You own it.
That's exactly
you
what it's saying.
You break it, you buy it. You break the law, you own this whole damn thing.
So, I'm assuming that it's legal for me to buy it here.
That tells you a lot about what they're up against.
And but they haven't. They're still shipping to Georgia. So, and the other thing that I would make notice is that that both of these, Craft Shack and Best Damn Beer Shop, both make it relatively inexpensive. I do know there are a couple of shipping organizations. One of them in Belgium for buying Cantillons and things like that. But they make it relatively inexpensive. You can get these beers shipped. I think the minimum shipping is 6 bottles and it's $30 or something. So if you put together a pretty good package,
it's not that bloated.
It's not that bad.
Especially if you can sell some of those on the secondary market.
Yeah.
Get all your money back.
Yeah. Just for all the dollars.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, all the dollars.
I don't sell beer in the secondary market. I drank it.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
I actually saw a guy at I was at a release.
We burped at the same time.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Jinx.
you're going to have to put a mark on that
Jinx
one.
again.
There was a guy at the, I was at a release on Sunday in Greenville, South Carolina, and a guy had this shirt that he had custom made, which says "Trades only, bro," and it's got this no cash, trades only, bro.
Yeah,
and
it's the circle with the line drawn through it.
I thought it was pretty amazing. Actually,
money in the middle,
yeah.
so it says "Trades only, bro," which I love how bro-tastic that is.
Yeah. So let's open up this. What is this goodie?
This next bottle you're gonna open is a special limited edition Home-brew.
Yeah.
From me. This is the
what is this?
Maple Stout.
Ooh.
My brother Tim and I do enjoy home brewing and save you some. And so we did. It was a small 5-gallon batch. I think it was heavy, 5.5 to 6, because we did this with the maple edition, but we also peeled off 2 gallons, and we bottled 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago. So we also peeled off 2 gallons that were aging, so it's still in a fermenter, aging on some maple wood chips.
Would you believe it?
Would you? So I think it came out really good. I've
had this already.
Yeah, but when you had it, you were not sober-ish.
Yes, we were. Neither of us were sober-ish. Actually.
I was sideways.
We were both halfway to ground. But I do remember having it. And
so while you sip on this, tell us a little bit about your travels lately, Jason, because it is a very productive travel schedule you've kept recently.
Very productive travel schedule. So my wife's grandmother passed away a couple of weeks ago.
For which I am sorry.
Thank you. In North Carolina. She was 94.
That's a good run, though.
It's a good run. Her and her husband were married for 72 years, I believe, which is unbelievable.
That's insane. That's amazing. Good for them.
So it was quite a legacy that she left, and so we were up there. And while we were there, I tried to hit some breweries and things just to sort of take our mind off of what we were there for.
Sure.
And so we hit. There's a new brewery in High Point, North Carolina, which is where my wife is from and where her family lives. There's a new brewery there called Brown Truck Brewery, and really cool little brewery. Had a really good IPA there. And then we hit a couple of breweries in Winston-Salem and Greensboro. So in Winston-Salem, we hit... In my opinion, the classic, which is Foothills Brewing.
Yeah, they're good.
They're awesome. Had a sexual chocolate right there. Sexual chocolate's one of my all-time favorite stouts, and I had it there. And then also Joymongers Barrel Hall had a really good peach Hefeweizen, which was 100 degrees that day. And man, I can't think of anything more refreshing than a peach Hefeweizen when the heat's that ridiculous. So Joymongers was a really cool brewery.
Barrel Hall is a cool take on what you call your local brewery.
Yep.
Kind of distinctive.
And they have another location, I believe, in Greensboro as well. When we went to Greensboro, we visited a brewery that I had never been to called Little Brother Brewing. And man, they had
I've never heard of it.
I had never heard of it, but they had a beer there, which I will mention. I thought was pretty crazy, just the idea of it. But the brewery, the beer was called Shameless Gimmick, and it's brewed with 100 different hops, and that is definitely a shameless gimmick. Here's what I will say about the Shameless Gimmick IPA from Little Brother Brewing. I was blown away at how good it was.
Really?
I mean, I was expecting this thing to be a train wreck.
Because I've had one of those. What was it? McKellar did that 10 years ago with the single hop series, and then they did the all of them together.
But 100 hops?
No, it was like 19.
Yeah,
which back in the day you were like 19 hops.
I mean,
that's impossible.
100 hops? I'm like, I asked the guy, I'm like, do you have a list of what hops? He's like, no, I don't have a list. I'm like, I'm just going to take your word for it.
Some of them were probably like scientific names.
Really freaking good, though. I mean, super
cool,
well
that's
done.
Amazing.
I was
some?
blown away by it. What?
You brought us some?
I did not bring any home.
Voice
I did not bring any home.
Your voice tailed off there.
Yeah, did not bring any home. So, but honestly, just those guys in the Piedmont Triad area of North Carolina, when I lived there, I don't know, 15 years ago, the only brewery in that area was Foothills, and then in Greensboro you had can't think of it, but
dropping
I'm dying.
The ums. You're
I'm
dropping
dying.
the ums.
But they
have a brewery.
They have a brewery in Greensboro downtown.
Dang, man.
I know, and
I'll edit that up.
And they, but man, there were so many breweries up there now.
Tantrum?
That Tantrum was this
Fannin.
weekend. Tantrum and Fannin were this weekend.
Hoppy, Trout.
So this past weekend, we were in the mountains of North Carolina and Georgia, and we hit Fannin Brewing, which was in Blue Ridge, Georgia. We hit Hoppy Trout Brewing, which was in Andrews, North Carolina. We hit Tantrum Brewing, which is a really awesome brewery in Cleveland, Georgia. They're a new brewery. I'd probably open in a month, maybe.
Wow.
They're growing all their own hops on property, and just really stinking cool.
Oh, you mentioned them coming up before.
I did, actually, and I was able to go there and have beers. I had a watermelon Berliner Weiss, and I had their IPA, their hazy IPA, which was really well done. Really great brewery. And then
where was Brown Truck Brewing?
Brown Truck Brewery was in High Point, North Carolina.
High Point, yeah.
And so, yeah. And then on our way back, we hit 8th State Brewing,
8th State.
which is in Greenville, South Carolina. And you hear me first, hear me here. 8th State Brewing is one of the best breweries in the country right now by
Listen to me
a
now.
Texas mile.
Hear me later.
They are brewing some of the best beer
That's bold.
that's being brewed in the country.
That's bold.
Their fruited sours are ridiculous if you're into that style. Their IPAs are really solid, really, really well done. Their stouts are some of the most sought after stouts on the secondary market right now.
Yeah, you've got one over here. You were
I do.
thinking about opening at your share tomorrow night. It's got Gold Flakes.
I do, actually. This is the release that we were there
Vanilla.
for, which was called Rich AF. And they actually had a really cool brewery event. So they rolled out the red carpet, and they had strings orchestra playing songs, and they had a shrimp cocktail on all the tables with tablecloths.
Yeah, and it's weird how the format is original. It's a clear bottle, which is rare for craft beer.
Yep.
And it's also a tiny little 8-ounce bottle. It's like a sampler.
Yep, for sure. And
It's wax tipped.
It's waxed with gold, and it has gold flakes inside of it. And
Gold Flake Stout.
Gold flakes. It's called Rich AF. It's an imperial stout with caviar, real caviar, cocoa nibs, cocoa husks, and Madagascar vanilla. And I think this set is going for around $200 on the secondary market.
$200 on the secondary market. It's an 8-ounce bottle.
Yep.
And if you like chocolate and fish,
It is.
It is up
I
your
don't get a
alley.
ton of fish, but I get a ton of chocolate and gold.
I bet the caviar imparts more salt than fish.
Probably
But,
in a same way that oyster stouts do, right?
yeah.
Yep. So yeah. So
Wow, man, you travel. I enjoy
Oh,
like vicariously through you.
definitely hit a ton of breweries in the last little bit, but
Yeah.
honestly, it was just good to get out and explore and see what other folks are doing around around the country, at least the areas that I can get to.
Sure, yeah. I did a couple of local breweries to try and get into some. We had some anniversaries. For some reason, we have several anniversaries going around in local breweries.
Yep,
I did a couple of those. I know you did the Orpheus one.
I did the Orpheus.
which is a great event.
Congrats to those guys.
They launched like 20
celebrating
stouts
5
or
years.
something like that.
Jason Pellet and the team
and
there.
then my local bottle shop partnered. Ilya partnered with several local breweries to create some original beers for their 8th anniversary, and those turned out really amazing. I was really happy to swing out there. I like when breweries do a 5K race.
Yep.
I did this 5K race at 3 taverns, and it's interesting. I mean, you got to be there at like 7:30 in the morning. By 8:15, everything is done. You've run the 5K. You're hot and sweaty.
And then what do you do?
Well, you have 2 pints that are included in the price of admission. You get a T-shirt, 2 pints, and like a giant plate of barbecue. So by 8:30, 8:45, 9 a.m., you've had 2 pints, a plate full of barbecue, and you're exhausted. So it makes for a good day. You go home
Fat and happy.
at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
People are just getting out of bed, and you're like, what have you done today?
I already run a marathon and drink beers.
And had a plate full of barbecue. So that's a nice time. And, went out searching for for some pH bombs at some local, trying to get into that
beer's
sour game.
tasty.
So thanks, man.
This beer is tasty.
Right?
It's very, very maple syrupy. I like it a lot.
Very maple. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Where did you buy this?
Where did I buy it?
Yeah. How about
made
ya?
this.
How about ya?
Me and Bro Hanovich.
This is good, man.
Thanks, dude.
Tell your brother Tim you
He's a genius. We were talking about doing
did a good job.
We were talking about doing a Rauch beer next, but I've never made. I have a confession. I've never made a sourish beer.
Okay. Well, a Rauch isn't really a sour beer, is it?
Exactly why I'm thinking about pivoting. I haven't talked to him about this yet. This is new information. So if he listens to this and I haven't talked to him about it yet, this will be.
You heard it here first.
But I think I'm going to get a chance to talk to him about it before this airs. But I was curious about Berliner Weiss or something that is more of like something you do in a fermenter.
Yep.
I know it requires a lot of time, and I just haven't done one of my own yet, and I'm more curious about that than I am around using smoked malt, which just seems like kind of a layup. I don't doubt we can make a good Rausch beer, if that makes any sense. Like,
I mean, I've never had a good Rausch beer, so I couldn't tell you.
Oh, that's too close to the belt. Hits him low. I like Rausch beer a lot.
Oh, I know you do.
I buy Schlenkerla Oxmarzen every time I walk into the bottle shop, pretty much.
Nope.
I
quit
love
smoking.
that shit.
Actually, I never started.
It's good. Yeah, but you make meat.
Yeah, I do make meat.
If you like...
Smoked barbecue, but not my beer.
If you like brisket, you will like Rausch beer.
I like
it.
Brisket.
Is liquid ham sandwich. It is delicious.
Yeah.
It is bacon flavored beverage. Bacon. I mean, it's tough to come up with an argument against the bacon.
I mean, I like bacon, but I don't want it in my beer.
All right, so
yeah. So
Thanks
you
for
hit
coming.
some good anniversary releases, and I hit
a few
some
of those.
good
I
ones.
like to seek them out. I'm batching it this week.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean a lot. I still had to run home, let the dogs out.
Yeah, you're gonna be back here tomorrow for a little shareage.
Maybe.
Yeah, you got to come here and try this caviar stout. You have to.
Thursday night, I'm going out to meet a mutual friend,
Yeah.
my buddy Paul Carpenter.
Yeah, Paul Carpenter.
Good peeps.
Yeah, I like Paul Carpenter
Real good
a lot.
peeps.
I like him a lot.
And a few others. Friday night, got a friend's wedding reception. Oh,
'Cause it's
a
Friday
big week. It's a big
night.
week. Home Depot, Bed Bath & Beyond. It's
Ooh,
a big week.
Bed Bath & Beyond and chill.
Maybe?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know about all that.
I don't know.
Anyway, so we got into Treehouse.
Bright with Galaxy.
Man, that's awesome. I'm putting in the show notes.
Good.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for being here.
And I guess we'll see everybody next month.
We'll see you next month.
Seriously, though, we need to record every week so we can get in front of this.
Yeah, we're trying. At least every 2 weeks.
I want to publish every 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're
I want a couple episodes in the
in the can.
as they call
can,
it,
yeah.
so that we can.
We're trying.
Have a week off.
We've
for
had
emergencies.
I had flu and pneumonia, and
Yeah,
my
you were
wife's
sick.
my grandmother died, and
And then
like
poor April got sick, and
it's
rough.
it's sometimes life kicks you in the gut.
That's true.
Thanks for listening. We
Thank
will
you.
see you next time. Until then, drink some really good beer, shake some friends' hands, and don't worry about those untapped ratings.
No, don't worry about untapped
No,
ratings.
not at all.
Ratings.
Ratings, batings.
I think
Ratings,
I said-
batings.
And keep it local.
Yeah, definitely.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank you for listening. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at The Last Beer Show. You can email us sip@lastbeershow.com. If there's anything you want us to touch on and discuss, we would be happy to. Go to the iTunes store, leave us a review or a rating. We would be eternally grateful. And thank you very much.